What is up, homies? Welcome back to another trailer reaction from Heroes Reforged. We are watching the brand new official trailer for Madam Web. Sony, desperate to hold on to those Spider-Man rights. Literally make anything. I should say first, before we talk about this trailer, if you want to see the uncut reactions to everything we've been watching, we just finished up Loki. We're going to have reactions for the rest of Ahsoka on there as well. Check out the Patreon link down below. Also, new episodes of the Checkskin podcast, where we're going to be talking about our thoughts of Loki Season 2, our thoughts about the Marvels, the state of the MCU, physical media, digital streaming, a ton of stuff. We also found out today that Destin Daniel Cretton is not doing Avengers King Dynasty, so we're going to have to axe that little part of the conversation out of that episode. But, you know, it is what it is. Things are changing every day. Things are changing every single day. My excitement for this movie, just like a lot of the Sony Spider-Man adjacent films, is lukewarm. But hey, if the movie ends up being great, then I will fully give it the credit that it deserves for being great.
100%. If it is great, I will praise it. If it's another Venom, or I still haven't even seen Morbius. We'll see.
We should watch Morbius together. We should watch now that the strike is over. Let's just get hit with all the good news and then the bad news and then the good news and the bad. Like Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards. There's a new trailer for Madam Web. What a day! What a day of news.
Also, we should say welcome back. This is our first reaction back after the strike, so this feels good again. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready to have your heart broken? Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Might be good. Who knows?
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
What do you want from me? Why do you care for me?
Whoa. This whole trailer before the trailer business has got to stop.
Come on, get your stuff. Let's go.
Evil Spider-Man. That's bad guy Spider-Man.
That guy's evil.
Let's try that again.
Oh, her powers of seeing the webs of time and space.
A week ago, I spent my life racing against time.
I'm gonna help you out today, okay?
Trying to save people who were running out of it. Until one moment changed everything.
Come on! Welcome back to the land of the living.
I don't understand what's happening. I've been having visions.
I like Adam Scott.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna die. I think I'm seeing the future.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
What do you want from me?
Barefoot on the train, huh? Interesting choice.
New York City's a whole new level of crazy these days.
This is an emergency. Get off the train.
That man's trying to kill you.
What?
Who are you? What is going on? I can see the future.
Oh, what the hell?
She didn't see that coming?
That's not how it works.
That is the most chaotically edited scene I've ever seen.
That's what I would have done.
Sims. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
I recognize you. You live in my building.
You're the paramedic.
Ezekiel Sims.
You almost ran me over.
You don't think this is weird?
Isn't that Yo Soy Dora?
It's honestly like the least weird thing.
I forget her name, Isabel something. She's gonna play Hawkgirl in Superman Legacy.
No idea what those girls are
Why don't you want
Yeah.
from me?
I think he can see into the future.
What are you want from me?
He's trying to change what happens.
Who's this actor playing Ezekiel, the bad guy? Is he like a Latino actor?
Why don't
No
you see
idea.
different? Why do you care for me?
Your future was almost so different.
Where do we go?
If you want to live, you have to trust me.
Get ready. Now.
You're showing off. Maybe a little.
Was that a Statue of Liberty in the M?
It was.
Yeah, I think.
It was.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to right off the bat say I know that we are especially harsh on this thing, and I don't want to be, because it seems as though weird.
I'm going to tell you this right now before you even say anything. I thought the trailer for Craven was also dog shit. So
right. And we didn't do a trailer reaction for that.
No.
And that's what I was going to say is that I'm very conflicted because I want more women-centric like superhero movies and TV shows and stuff. Okay. We're just going through this with the Marvels. With however you feel about that, I think that there is annoyingly a bias and a targeting from certain like people in bad faith. I'm talking right wingers. I'm talking people that don't know what the hell they're talking about. Picking and choosing that movie and not having the consistency of like, well, if you're really dogging on that movie, but you really loved The Flash, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like the same issues that you're saying are in the Marvels were clearly present in other superhero media this year, the year before. So my frustration for this is I love a lot of these characters from the comic books. I do love Araña is a character who's in this film. I love Ezekiel Sims, that character. I love the concept of Spider-Woman and the various women that have played that character. But I'll be honest, too, I don't love the concept of centering a whole story around the Madam Web fortune-telling type of thing. I know that a lot of people, and probably our age, are familiar with this character from the 90s Spider-Man animated series. She was an older woman who showed up, and she was in like this spider-themed chair and was sort of, almost like, I don't know, almost like a Watcher or a multiversal sort of a Loki to tell Peter Parker Spider-Man, like there's different universes and different. So to have that character be the main focus, and I'm not that familiar with Dakota Johnson's work. The main thing is, like you said, Adam, I'm going off of the track record of Sony. Okay, we've got Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Morbius, going into Kraven the Hunter, and I've only liked one kind of out of those 3 projects that have released so far. Not looking forward to Kraven. My other issue, like I'm saying, is like a comic book person is I'm like, I wouldn't have chosen to make a movie based off of this, but let's get a spinoff of any of the women characters from the animated Spider-Man films. Apparently we're going to get that. There's going to be a show or a movie or something. Or better yet, I would love it if Sony were to stop making these movies, but continue to work with Marvel Studios. Let's get a spinoff of characters established in the sort of Tom Holland or going back Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire live action Spider-Man worlds. I'm invested in those worlds. I'm not invested in the Tom Hardy Venom, Jared Leto, Morbius, so on and so forth. So that's my conflict. I'm rooting for this, but just kind of based off the premise and going off the trailer, it also reminded me of that Nicolas Cage movie Next, where he was like, I can see the future. And and that ended up very cheesy for me. And I think it's kind of a difficult concept to pull off. I feel like you have to have a really strong script at the script level to be like, we have a character who she can see the future. How can you put this into a story where there's still going to be like worthwhile stakes? Because the Next had a real cop-out ending. I think about that Nicolas Cage movie ending all the time where I was like, that was a real cop-out and kind of frustrating. And I don't want the same thing to happen to this thing. So I'm conflicted about this movie overall, man. It doesn't capture me.
I'm truthfully conflicted about this entire universe because to me, if you're going to make a Spider-Man universe, but there's no plans of integrating the main character into any of this stuff, and I'm not saying that that's 100% true. Like, it's very possible that they have some sort of a plan with maybe Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 film. Maybe not. I don't know. But it just seems weird to build out a universe where the titular character is not a part of the universe. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse and Beyond the Spider-Verse are the only proof that you need that you can do. It doesn't even have to be Peter Parker. You can make Spider-Man Miles Morales. You can do Spider-Gwen. You can do Spider-Man Noir. You can do Spider-Ham. There's so many characters that kind of take that leading role of Spider-Man in the universe, but you need some kind of a hero that is the center point of all of that. And then you can tell stories that spin off. Now I'm like, well, what are you doing? Are you really just trying to retain the license to be able to continuously make Spider-Man movies until the end of time? If you're not doing a co-partnership with Marvel Studios with any of these other characters, then like what kind of is the point of them? It just feels like they're making them just to make them. And I don't feel like there's any sort of, I think it's fine if you're going to do some sort of an anthology where the movies really don't connect and they're about their own thing. That's fine. But then don't put a post-credit scene with Morbius meeting, Michael Keaton's character from Spider-Man Homecoming. Like don't try to connect it if you're not going to connect it. If there's no end game to connect it, just let them be their own things. And that's fine. So I think that to me and just the overall quality of the movies, they just don't feel like they're up to par, not even with the MCU, but just like with generally where superhero movies are today. They feel so just like subpar. The trailers don't get me excited. The marketing doesn't get me excited for it. And I like all the actors that have been in them. Like, I love Tom Hardy. I really like Dakota Johnson. And I just wish that I was more excited about these projects. But Sony hasn't done anything to make me excited.
Going off of what you just said, Adam, and then Augustine, I know that you've got thoughts on this. Going off what you said, Adam, it's like we're not saying. I
don't know if they're appropriate for the internet right now.
I don't want to be the comic book fan that says you can only do like an adaptation of an already established comic book story from the comics. I don't want to say that, dude, because we have seen time and time again. There's been projects, things like Peacemaker, the show. I never in a million years thought that Peacemaker, the character, would be worthy of like having a TV show adaptation, right? Spin-off from a movie. And I thought that was fantastic. And it surprised me. I didn't see that. And but the thing that we're saying here, I think the thing you're saying, Adam, is like, if Sony were to be looking into these comics, looking into these stories, and not being worried about adapting them sort of as they are, but then just like using them as a base inspiration and then doing their own thing, but then the end result was really surprising and awesome, I think we'd all be down for it. We would all have been won over by the Venom movie with no Spider-Man. Because when you told me that concept from the beginning, I went, I don't think that's a good idea. And I think I ended up kind of being right. The Venom movies with no Spider-Man, they don't really work. Certainly not Morbius. If they had taken the concept of, superhero vampire, which is like, I look at the comics and I go, I don't think Morbius can hold his own movie. But if other writers and creatives came in and went, no, but superhero vampire is such a great idea. Let's wow you with this film. You guys didn't wow me. It was a really crappy movie. And I'm ready to be wowed, but just going off this track record, I look at it from a comic book fan's perspective and I go, I wish that some of these characters, and like Ezekiel Sims is a really cool character that I grew up in high school reading when he was coming out in comics. Really interesting is Ezekiel's relationship with Peter Parker. So it does make me a little bummed that it's like, oh, okay, well, now we're never going to see a version of that. The same way that like when Gwen Stacy died in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, people were like, well, it's a bummer that great moment happened in this otherwise not great movie. Versus saving it and maybe trying to build it out in the MCU or whatever. Anyway, the flip of that is when you look at the comic book stuff and you go, I'm kind of disappointed because it's not hitting the way the comic books do. The flip is it's not even hitting the way like a great original movie and a great original story is hitting.
That's
and
the issue.
it's a double bingo issue bummer. It's what it is. So Augustine, take it away, my friend.
Look, to me, this is not a bummer, dude. We grew up with these characters. They don't have to be comic book accurate. I want them to have the essence and the story, the essence and like the heart of what these characters should have. And all of these movies that Sony has put out feel like a half-ass attempt at just trying to do something, which sucks because it's just like we were talking about Avengers Campus at Disneyland, right? Like that feels like a half-ass attempt at just doing something Marvel at the park. And I don't like it because I feel like we have such a clear example of what we have seen and been through that we know what these movies can be. And I don't even think this is an issue of like misogynist dudes just like having bad opinions towards women's movies in general. I don't think that's the issue here. To me, it's just the quality doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like the people who are making this movie really care. And I think that's just the whole Sony verse in general. I don't think they really care about these movies because I'm looking at the trailer right now. Even like the font for the poster for the title just looks like like they just threw it together in like 15 minutes, dude. They didn't really care about what it looked like or if it has anything to do with the movies. They were just like, make it red, throw some spider webs on it, maybe a Statue of Liberty. Who knows? Whatever, right? So I don't know, man. None of these movies sit right with me, and I'm not saying that I can tell whether their ideas or their hearts are in a good place, but I really feel like I can tell that their hearts and their ideas are not in these projects, and that's my issue. Like there's amazing characters that we have not seen on the big screen yet that all deserve time on the big screen. Every character can have an amazing moment, but this isn't it. This universe isn't it. They're making it seem like we have not lived through the 10, 20, whatever, however many MCU movies and seen that greatness. We're not living in a bubble here. We know what we have and we know what to expect. And this is not it.
Yeah.
At all.
I remember when they were going to make a Black Cat movie, when Sony was going to do Black Cat, teaming with another woman character named Silver Sable. And I like both of those characters a lot. And I really love Felicia Hardy Black Cat. And I was like, okay, if the MCU is not going to do Black Cat, yeah, that's a fantastic character to like base a story around, base a movie on. And the fact that they were pairing her with another character that I didn't automatically think would be a great pairing. I was like, interesting. It's really interesting, and it's woman centric, and I want to see how that plays out. Because to me, Black Cat is almost a kind of a bigger figure in the Spider-Man supporting cast world. I remember that they announced that, and then they announced this at the same time. And I was like, okay, both of those projects out together. Let's see how they, But now that this is the one that made it through, but Black Cat was canceled. Black and Silver was what it was going to be. I'm kind of looking at this like, again, it's going to have too much unfair pressure on it to be the Spider-Man movie that's finally been made after I don't know how many Spider-Man centric movies, but this one has women in it. This one has a woman at the center, and I just wish that it looked more sort of awesome. But I don't know. Maybe this will end up being the best one out of all of them. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I love your optimism, Hector. And that's why we have you on the team.
I'm like the bar is low. Right now, the bar you need to clear is the first Venom movie. That's not the highest
that's
bar.
Even like that's on the floor, dude.
Bro, you haven't seen Venom Let There Be Carnage. You haven't seen Venom Let There Be Carnage.
I have
seen it. The floor is Morbius. The floor is Morbius.
I haven't seen Morbius yet, so I'm just saying, like, it's just
when this movie comes out and we're inevitably going to see it and maybe talk about it, I'm going to be sure to, just for like equal opportunity across the genders, I'm going to dog on Morbius even more. Believe me, I'm going to refresh 100%. My dogging on Morbius. I'm going to refresh how crappy Morbius was.
Every sentence is going to end with, but it wasn't as bad as Morbius. So after everything we say about this movie, it wasn't as bad as Morbius.
Yeah, so, and that's part of kind of like the unfortunate situation, right? Is they want to make all of these movies and they want to diversify the characters that they give audiences. At the end of the day, you still got to make them good. You can't just make them just to make them. It's got to
be a good movie.
They got to be good. Yeah. And it's just like you guys are saying, it's like Morbius might be the bar that, that they have to cross over the threshold, but then you got to also compete with other movies that have diverse characters that are really good. Your Black Panthers, your Wakanda Forevers, your Shang-Chi's, I liked Black Widow, and Eternals and stuff like that. So it's like, you want to do that, great, but like they got to be good. You can't just put up like, well, we're trying to give opportunities to other characters. I'm like, but you can't make a Batman and Robin these days. You got to make something that really hits.
Whoever at Sony is like hiring the people to make the animated Spider-Man movies, get them to just work on your live action Spider-Man movies. Stop hiring who's ever working on that's it. To get them to, pay them even more money and bring in the creative types, the directors and writers who are coming from the animation world, the Spider-Verse world, to come in and do your live action movies.
Stop making these movies, let the rights go back to Marvel, and get your ass on another franchise, because this is not working for you.
Give me Gran Turismo 2, damn it.
Yeah, dude, do something else. Like, do something else. Like, what other great
Augustine, and then they did. They got Ghostbusters. They got Ghostbusters, and they're like, you like this? And we're like, yeah, but not like that.
But you know what? It wasn't even that bad. I'm looking forward to seeing Paul Rudd again.
There's a trailer for a new one. I haven't seen it yet. I need to watch it.
I haven't seen it either, but it's okay. No, dude, there's so many other franchises they can focus on. And, like, we don't know the exact reason why this is happening, and we probably never will. But I need this universe to be better. And if that means going back to Marvel and Disney, then let it die and go figure something else out.
Amen, brother. Amen. But of course, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about this first official trailer for Madam Web? What are your thoughts about the Sony Spider-Man universe in general? Should it go back to Marvel? Could Sony keep making these live action films, or figure out something else? Maybe get Lord and Miller and the people who make the Spider-Verse movies in there to fix this, or just let it die. Who knows?
Let it die.
Let us know in the comments below. Check out the uncut reactions, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.